Hey guys, this was supposed to have been. I was told that this video was embargoed for about an hour's time from when I'm recording this. I'm recording this at 9 p.m. GMT, and I was told that it was embargoed for another hour and a half. I can already see that people have started publishing stuff about patch notes, which to me, I like is really frustrating. And I'm sorry to vent to you guys, but just to give you context, we get given these patch notes early, right? And we're allowed to record our thoughts so that when the patch notes go live, we can release our thoughts. So it's newsworthy. When you've been working all day, you get told the embargo is 10 p.m. and then randomly someone from another region releases the patch notes 2 hours, 3 hours early, and then you just get told that the embargo has been randomly lifted. It's just really frustrating because I have to carve time out of my childcare and my day to go and sit down and make wildrift content now because I've got my job. And when you the one thing on my channel that people like is my patch breakdown, and if I'm late, I just don't get the same views, and I shouldn't get upset, but I just do. It's just one of those things. Anyway, rant over. G2A sponsor the channel. Let's get into the patch notes. And frankly, I'm in a bad mood, so I'm going to be realistic about this patch. It's not good. Well, okay. It's not that it's not good. It's not that exciting. And I'm sorry. I'm just salty because of the embargo thing. It's actually a relatively normal patch, if I'm honest with you. But I think because the patch was attached to the whole 3.0, because this patch has been attached 3.0 as a name, you expect something big. But realistically, what I think 3.0 actually means is that we're just in a new year. And someone can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure in 2020 Wildrift patches were 1.x. In 2021 they were 2.x, and I believe in 2023 they're 3.x. So I don't actually think 3.0 signifies anything significant. It's just the fact that it's the first patch of a new year. It's not the most exciting patch in the world, I'm going to be completely frank with you, but let's go through it anyway. This is probably the most exciting thing that this patch has, which is Set. It's a really, really cool champion. I know that he's one of the most requested champions. He's coming out next week at midnight GMT. I will try to make a guide. If I am not super tired, I'll try and make a guide on Set on release. Mainly because I love this champion, and I think, you know, I'll really enjoy playing him. But Set's getting released. He's similar to Renekton. Set is like a similar playstyle to Renekton. He's a beefy frontline bruiser who can build damage and be a little tanky. And he's got a really cool ultimate. His ultimate is super, super awesome. Also, another great counter to Katarina. So, you know, I think Katarina players are going to be even more sad. They're basically changing out of the arcane thematic from Guild versus Guild and turning it into Ionia. They are made up some updates to trophy points, making them easier to earn. 3 group community missions to 2 group community missions, 2 solo accessible community missions, and trophy track level 1 to 25 lower by 25%. Guild vs. Guild Season 2 starts on the 24th of January. We've got fireworks when you load into Summoner's Rift. Voice chat's coming back, I believe, in North America to start with, or the Americas to start with, and they're going to roll it out if there are no issues. Gifting has changed, which is actually kind of annoying because when I do giveaways, this is going to make it almost impossible. You can only give 2 gifts per day, and you have to be friends for 2 weeks, which basically makes content creator giveaways nigh on impossible, which is really annoying, but there we go. The Wild Pass is getting updated with the Hextech Galio. You know, I like Galio. I think it's probably the best skin that I've seen for them to do. Ultra Rapid Fire is coming back. I mean, Ultra Rapid Fire is fun, don't get me wrong, but it's one of those modes, once you've played like 2 games of it, or 3 games of it, for me, it gets a little bit stale. I just want to play ranked most of the time. But it's coming back, and I think a lot of you liked it because it was quite a fun difference. I really want them to bring Ultimate Spellbook to Wildrift. I know that Ultimate Spellbook has proved like a really popular mode in PC. That's like a mode that is genuinely really cool, but the coding behind that must be really hard to do. Skins coming out, the Firecracker skins. Firecracker Jinx is a great skin, by the way. And we're getting a load of extra skins as well, including the Warring Kingdoms Garen skin, which is, I don't think it's going to be better than God Garen skin, but Some cool skins if you're interested in those things. Radiant Wukong as well, charms and new banners, etc., etc. New emotes. God, there must be so many emotes in the game right now, but there's this load of new emotes, load of new icons. If you care about it, you can read the patch notes because they're out already. Okay, who's that champion event? And the Lunar Banquet event. Base health regeneration and base health regeneration per level going down on Mundo. Do I think Mundo is super strong? He was in a good spot, definitely one of the stronger tanks in the game. Became a little unkillable, but I don't think he was like super OP. So this is like a small tone down, but he's still going to fill the role. We don't have many good tanks in the game right now, and I think Mundo's just one of those tanks that we need to have because we don't have many good tanks. Ezreal. I don't actually think Ezreal needed a buff, honestly. I think he was already a solid AD carry. He just has a little bit of a weak sort of early dragon fight, early laning phase. But Mystic Shot AD ratio going up by 10% is pretty significant. I do expect Ezreal to be seen a lot more frequently this patch. That is a pretty hefty bump. Like, if you think that you're spamming that every 2 to 3 seconds, you're getting 10% of your AD stacked on top of that. You pair that with Janna, that's, you know, you're getting more. That's actually a pretty decent extra little buff for Ezreal, and I do expect to see him being played more often this patch. In fact, if anything, it pushes him to the top tier of AD carries, like there or thereabouts. Jax is getting nerfed the same way that Mundo got nerfed, except he's basically having his base health regeneration growth, but he's actually getting a health regeneration growth buff. So his early game health regeneration is going down, just so he takes more damage in the jungle. And my loads of pieces of paper fell off my computer. Attack speed per level times 0.6 is going to 3, 5.5, 8, 10.5. Well, let me just do a bit of quick maths. Okay. So it's 3 at level 1, so it stays the same at level 1. But let's say you're level 15 times 0.6 is 9. So level 15, you would get 11.4. So it is a late game nerf, but early game staying the same. So basically, it stays the same at level 1, but it gets progressively worse throughout the game. Okay, so they're basically just nerfing it as it sort of like stacks up. Cool. Kayle, too strong, so they're nerfing her. This time they're nerfing her late game, which is probably the thing that needed nerfing in the first place. Health per level is going down, which is actually really, really like scary, because if you're a Kayle player, you're losing 50 health in that road, or 40 health on that road to level 5, which sometimes that is what keeps you alive in lane. So that's a pretty scary health nerf. Divine Ascent is getting a base damage nerf and an AP ratio nerf, and Starfire Spellblade is getting a base damage nerf and an AP ratio nerf. Do I think this is going to make Kayle bad? What I think is this is going to make Kayle's early game worse because of the health regen, her mid game worse as well. But if you can get Kayle to level 10 and then eventually to level 15, she's still going to be the same old Kayle, and I don't anticipate it's going to massively change her late game powerhouse. I think Kayle is still going to remain very strong in the late game. But actually, these are very significant nerfs to Kayle, and so I think that she probably will feel the pain a little more. Misfortune, they're actually nerfing her movement speed buff that they gave her to the last patch, but only by a little bit, and I don't think this is going to suddenly... This is not going to suddenly kick Misfortune out. I think Misfortune was already in a good spot. I don't actually think her movement speed was what made her strong. I just think the fact that Seralda's Grudge is so good with her ultimate in the current meta. And so, I think Misfortune in general will remain exactly where she was previously, if I'm honest with you. Morgana fixed the bug with the that's already been hot fixed actually. So basically, I knew this was the case when you built Merc Treads. Morgana's Dark Binding still just lasted forever, and I was like, what is going on? I swear Merc Treads should be reducing this, but they didn't. But they're also buffing Jungle Morgana, which is pretty cool actually, because we don't have that many AP junglers, and I'm really excited about this buff to Jungle Morgana, who was already relatively good, by the way. Sorry, my food came. But yeah, we don't have many good AP junglers, so I think this is like a really nice change to get some more AP junglers into the meta, and I think Morgana was already solid. Riven. Buffing Riven. Base health regeneration's up, and base health regeneration per level's up. So her jungle's going to get better, and slightly better in trades in the Baron lane as well. But this is, I think this more like health regeneration in general tends to affect jungling more than it does Baron lane, because Riven, like that, you know, I think this is just going to be better for Riven overall in the jungle, and it will slightly help our Baron lane. But again, when it comes to base health regeneration, put it in context, like 9 per, I think it's 9 per 5, right? So it's 9 health per 5 seconds. Like you've got to be waiting like. Let me work this out. You're gonna get like 108 health per minute. So it's not like you're getting a huge amount of health, right? But obviously it's going up throughout the levels. And Tryndamere is getting is still one of the most dominant junglers across all skill levels. How? I've never seen a Tryndamere do well in my games. Never, ever seen a Tryndamere do well in my games. Critical strikes reduce the spinning cooldown of spinning splash by 1 second, doubled against champions. Critical strikes against minions reduce the cooldown of spinning slash by 1 second, doubled against champions. Monsters. Okay, so only minions in the lane. You can't get it in the jungle now. Oh, okay. I was trying to work out what was happening there, but you don't get it in the jungle now. Interesting. Sorry, Tryndamere jungle players, I guess. I can't comment on how this will affect Tryndamere jungle because I literally never see it. I genuinely never see Tryndamere jungle. There must be some wild people playing Tryndamere jungle across the world. ARAM changes, gameplay changes. Here we go. Edge of Night is powerful, and we're going to increase the cost. Fair enough. I do think Edge of Night was really powerful, and I think I've seen people like Lee Sin go Edge of Night first item, and it was like having like a pseudo GA, and it was really annoying. So I think Edge of Night costs are warranted, but 150 gold is not a huge amount. Essence Reaver, we are buffing Essence Reaver, and I think that's nice because no one's playing Essence Reaver right now. It has been completely eclipsed by Solari Chargeblade builds for most of the and like Solari Chargeblade into like Infinity Edge, for instance. So the only thing is that I don't know many AD carries that really like need this amount of mana. Maybe Lucian, for instance, and you know sometimes Zaya, but I just feel like it's, I don't know. Is it a good? Like, is 45 attack damage good enough as like an AD slot item? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Is 45 AD like good enough as an AD slot item? Probably. But like for the effect as well, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if that makes a difference. Hextech Mega Drive is going down by 2 seconds on healing. That's cool because I've only ever seen Rakan build this item, right? But I've never really seen anybody else build it because a 5-second cooldown means it's so difficult to actually cycle your active. And as I said when this item came out, I think one of the main benefits you'll see with this item is if this item's active is this item can get you 2 active casts in like one extended team fight, right? I think this is a good change. Do I think, and you know, I think it's a good, like, this item is supposed to be like Rod of Ages light with an extra effect. So especially because Rod of Ages takes a little bit longer to stack, maybe we start to see some enchanter supports pick this up. Brutal's being nerfed. They're basically getting rid of the magic penetration and armor penetration to just give you straight AD and AP. I actually think that genuinely hurts the rune a little bit because obviously junglers would still take it, but that 2% actually did make small amounts of differences as the game went on, you know. Monsters that level up in combat no longer gain current health from the level up. Fair enough. Blah blah blah. Fair enough. Like I said, it's not the most wow patch ever. It's no new runes, no new items, 1 new champion, nothing else crazy. Boom. Grumpy Excoundrel signing out.